Now we've added significant noise to the environment, as you can see here, anywhere between 53 and also 82 decibels of noise. What we're going to do is we're going to switch to the A6, we're going to stay quiet to see how much is canceled, and we'll continue with the audio test. Let's go ahead and switch. Now in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the OneOdio Focus A6 active noise canceling headphones. These are super comfortable to wear, have great battery life. We're talking about, check this out, over 70 hours of battery life. This is kind of insane. And if you use active noise canceling, then you're looking at around 40 hours of battery life. But regardless, 40 to 70 is pretty crazy. So these have great active noise canceling. They sound great. They have great battery life. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at them. We're going to put them through the EBPMAN audio and call quality test so you can hear how they sound and see how they perform if you were to take calls with these guys. So let's get right to it. Now, the OneOdio Focus A6 have crazy battery life, and you heard that right, 75 hours of usage you're going to get from these. And that's going to be if you choose to have the active noise canceling off. If you enable active noise canceling, well, it's going to take a little bit more power, and obviously it's going to use up the battery much faster. So 40 hours of battery life is what you can expect if you are using active noise canceling. Now, let's say for whatever reason, you wipe out the battery, or in my case, you forget to charge them for your next trip or as you're getting on the train. Well, 10 minutes of charge is going to give you 10 hours of battery life. Think about that for a couple seconds. 10 minutes, 10 hours. Not 10 minutes, 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but 10 minutes will give you 10 hours of battery life. Now, the active noise canceling is something that you're going to want to use, but it's kind of scary good, right? So you're talking about 98% noise canceling. So it is a very good active noise canceling solution, and it's going to be able to really work with sounds that are around 48 dB. So if you think about your train, you think about your plane, you think about even in your home, I found myself Nilda tapping me on the shoulder because I didn't hear her. So good active noise canceling, but they also have ambient sound. So you don't have to be fully isolated, which let's say, you're in a public area, you're probably going to want to hear what's going on around you. Being isolated may not be such a good thing. Now, the other thing that they have is dual mics. So they have dual mics that are going to perform for calls. And let's face it, we do more and more calling from our headphones than ever before. So we'll see how well they perform as we look at our tests. Now, from an audio perspective, bass, mids, and highs are all present. It's immersive. The way I like describing immersive audio is the music isn't playing at you, but it's playing around you. You feel like you're in a studio. So it's not about speakers just doing this thing at you, but it's more something that envelops you and it's all around. So this does a really good job. Music separation, bass, mids, and highs are all present. And the software application that it has or that you can use is going to give you a better audio experience from a configuration perspective. Now, this set does support high-res audio. So it does have LDAC support, Bluetooth 6.0. You could use this for multi-point. Very important, because if you're using this, let's say for gaming on a laptop or on a game console, or let's say, for example, you are on your laptop and you have your phone, it supports multi-point, which means it's going to be connected to two devices. You're playing your game, phone call comes in, you'll be able to switch to your phone and get that without a problem. So you're not locked into one device. The Smart app is pretty mature at this point. You have customization, you can customize your sound. And then also, as I mentioned, you do have low latency gaming mode. We're talking about 0.06 millisecond gaming mode. So you can enable that as well. So this is a fully featured active noise canceling, I would say, headset. So let's take a look and see how well they sound. Now in the box, you're going to have your headphones, and then what you have is a USB-C cable and a user guide. This one does not include any kind of case. So that's going to be something that you'll have to think about, but they do fold, and you'll see that in a couple seconds. Now the headphones themselves are pretty straightforward, right? They have good flexibility, so you're not going to experience any kind of icing at the top of your head. They also then have some memory foam. I didn't feel or experience any kind of overheating, which is also really important. And again, you'll notice how flexible they are. Now, inside the headphones, you'll notice that you have an indicator here for left and right. And you'll notice that based on how I have these flat now, they go flat, right? So this is going to be good for travel, right? And they also fold. So this is going to give you some flexibility when it comes to those two things. You'll notice you have left and right. And then basically what you have is some support here on the side. But one of the things I noticed is that while the memory foam is here, it's not found on the side. At first I was a little concerned, is it going to cause some pressure or pain on the side? And it really didn't. So I was surprised, but it actually works. So over here, you also notice that you have your buttons, right? You have your active noise canceling, you have your on off, and then you have your volume rocker. Pretty straightforward with USB-C here. Has a small logo on the side, not something super loud. And let's see what these look like on, right? So let's put this on. All right, and let me go ahead and make them a little bit smaller. First thing that you're going to notice is that they're low profile, right? So you'll notice how they really hug nicely. There's not a lot of space here, which is something I like. And they go over your ear really nicely. I'm going to turn to the right so you can see that. Turn to the right, left. All right, very, very trim. They're not like huge cans, but at the same time, they are covering my ears well, right? And like I mentioned, I didn't really experience any sweating or overheating just by having them on. And I'm not talking about like you're on the gym running, right? I'm just talking just in general, when you put on some cans or some headphones like this, you may experience some overheating based on the material. Nothing like that came up. Now, the app itself is very mature. It has all the expected features that you would expect. You have ANC on. You can turn on transparency, which now I can hear myself speaking. And the active noise canceling is really good. When you turn that on, I'll turn it on now, things just melt away. It really, really does work really well. You also then have transparency. You have ANC off completely. You have wind noise reduction. You have also then wind resistant transparency. So this is going to, the good thing about something like this is that as you're walking outside, you won't hear the swoosh, swoosh. Now, let's be real. When you're talking about transparency mode, headphones typically are using the mics to allow you to hear what's going on outside. So that's why it's so important to have this kind of wind resistance mode, because you don't want that sound that's being picked up by the wind on the mics going through your ears. So I like the fact that you have, some of those options there. And I have wind noise reduction as well. So you see a couple of those options there. You have bass mode, which is what I run in, the bass, and you'll see my tests are going to be there. You have find your headphones. You have dual device connection. You can enable that or disable it. You have your game mode. I turned that off. I was using it in our test and it worked well, but then I turned it off for normal use. You have overtime wear reminder, so you are mindful and conscious about long-term use of any kind of electronic and trying to control that. That's definitely there. Max volume limiter, LDAC, right? And then you have auto power off, and then you have movie sound effect mode. Now, this is where you're going to go to, again, update your firmware too. So it's an app to have. It's important to actually deal with, because it's going to open up a lot of new features for you. Now, next we're going to do a call quality test of the Focus A6 in a quiet environment. If we take a look at our decibel ratings, anywhere between 32 and 36 decibels of noise. It's going to switch. Now, this is what the Focus A6 are going to sound like in a quiet environment. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is our test. I'm going to add some wind. Now, this is what the Focus A6 are going to sound like with wind in the environment. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is our test. Now, we've added significant noise to the environment. As you can see here, anywhere between 53 and also 82 decibels of noise. What we're going to do is we're going to switch to the A6. We're going to stay quiet to see how much is canceled, and we'll continue with the audio test. Let's go ahead and switch. This is what the Focus A6 will sound like in a noisy environment. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is our test. Now, if you're wondering what the Focus A6 are going to sound like with an infant crying in the background, this is what they sound like with an infant crying. If you're wondering what they sound like with a dog barking in the background, well, this is what they're going to sound like with a dog barking. Now, if you're wondering what they're going to sound like with a doorbell ringing in the background, this is what they sound like with a doorbell ringing.
You look at me like I'm crazy when I shut my feelings out. You look at me like I'm different, still you stay cause you feel something real. Get so lost in my moments, doesn't mean I don't need you. I fell in love with your colors, they kinda tell me what I'm thinking. I fell in love with the way we are and the way we live. Bass.
guys, what are my thoughts on the Focus A6? I think that they're a great value. They're small, they're compact, they have great active noise canceling, they sound great too. Battery life is spectacular. It's in line with what you would expect in the industry, and they're also super low profile. With that, I'll see you in the next video.